And here come the Noles. They have won 39 straight games in Tallahassee, the longest home winning streak in the nation. The last time they lost was 1991. Good afternoon, everybody. With Dan Fouts, I'm Brent Musburger. I don't have to tell you, throughout this decade, the fiercest rivalry in college football simply has been Florida State. To win a national championship, ladies and gentlemen, you must come through the state of Florida most of the time. These two schools are only 200 miles apart. They flat don't like each other. Mr. Fouts, we welcome you to Florida State.
Brent, it's my first time with this intense rivalry, and as with all rivalries, you have your similarities and your contrasts. The contrast when we went up to Gainesville, very relaxed, very confident. Steve Spurrier's team feels they match us up well. We come to practice here on Thursday, they kicked us out. They closed practice. They're going to keep things very tricky on offense. One thing is similar, they're going to defend their turf.
And defend it they did just a short time ago. Look what happened in midfield. Folks, this was not your ordinary pushing and shoving. 3 players have been ejected, including a starting defensive back for Florida. The details are coming up. It's Florida State, the war. One of the great traditions in the college game, Chief Osceola, a top renegade. And right now, let's go down to our colleague Jackaroo. Jack.
Coach Bobby Bowden, you've got to make a second career start for a young kid at quarterback, Marcus Outzen, in what has got to be the biggest rivalry. What did you tell him?
Well, he just got to realize he doesn't have to win the darn game. Just handle the ball real good and try to make good decisions.
Now, the fight that occurred before you came back out here, now, your feelings on that situation?
I hate it. I wish it had not have happened. It happened last year, and it set off again. Maybe that'll be the last we see of that.
Well, guys, sometimes a rivalry gets even more bitter when it gets closer.
Indeed, Josh Baggs and Bolden of Florida State, 2 non-starters, we are told, have been ejected. But we have also been told that Tony George, the starting defensive back for Florida, has been tossed out. We will confirm that. And here is Tony looking out at the field at the officials. And the coaches are out with the officials. And you know right now that the reason why Chief Osceola has been held up is because of this incident. Otherwise, he would already have been out, dismounted, handed it off to the ceremonial chief for the start of today's game. Steve Spurrier is complaining that George should not be ejected. Bobby Bowden is there. Steve now folding his arms, and you can see that the officials have been holding their ground. 2 substitutes have been thrown out for the Seminoles, along with George. Bill Goss, the referee, early today, and now here comes the chief. Let the fun begin. Well, Dan, I think you should tell our viewers and listeners, because we watched for 30 minutes. We watched it develop out here on the field, exactly what happened that led to the fight at midfield.
Well, for about 15 minutes before the fight actually occurred, the Gators were standing all over the Seminole logo in the middle of the field. The Seminoles were down the other end of the field, just let them stand there for a while. But then the 2 teams came to midfield, and that's when the fight broke out. Now, for Florida State to lose 2 bench warmers and cost their rivals a starting corner, you'd have to like the odds on that one for Florida State. But you know what? It serves Florida right. They were the instigators of the fight. They stood on the logo. They spit on it. They kicked the dirt. And for them to lose their starting corner, Tony George, seems only right.
The Seminoles win the toss, and they elect to defer. As usual, the Gators will go on the attack. Had Steve Spurrier won, he would have taken the ball. There's the fastest man on the Gators, Campbell, number 10, back deep. And one of the great kickoff men in college football, Sebastian Janikowski, number 38 from Poland. 60% of his kickoffs are not returned. And this one won't be either. Now, the Gators have not won in Tallahassee since '86. And we ask the quarterback, Doug Johnson, what do the Gators have to do to win a game in Tallahassee?
Every team seems to always play well in this game. And it always is decided on a big play, a kickoff return or a punt return or a punt block or missed field goals or something like that. The little things in the big plays always determine this game.
And so Johnson brings the Gators to the line of scrimmage. McGriff, his ace receiver, is out to his left side. McCaslin, the tailback, goes nowhere against the middle of the defense as we now meet the Chili's starting lineups. Eugene McCaslin, whom you just saw, is from Tampa. Terry Jackson will also try at tailback today. Travis McGriff is number 3, 222 yards against South Carolina. But folks, keep an eye on these two tackles, Pillar and Carlisle. The Noles are determined to get a sack this year. They didn't get a single one last year in Gainesville. Johnson's first pass, line holds up, intercepted. Jackson's penalty flag is down as Jackson dashes into the end zone. There is a penalty flag at the 30-yard line. And Johnson indicating there was defensive holding on the play.
He's praying that there was defensive holding or pass interference against the Noles. That will negate that touchdown return.
Spurrier seems confident. The defense stayed on the field for the Noles. Obviously, they think this one is coming back, and it is. So a huge break goes the Gators' way to start the game.
Nafis Kareem working against Mario Edwards. There's the hold on the jersey, and that's why Kareem could not get to that curl pattern on the inside. Good eyes by the quarterback, Doug Johnson, seeing that hold.
First down, Florida. They keep it tight end. Kareem comes in motion to the other wing to block. Play fake, fans on the pass. Incomplete is the ruling. Incompleted pass, second down and 10.
Jamal Reynolds, who's starting today for Roland Seymour with the play that time. Watch him working against Kareem right there. That's a mismatch. Takes Johnson a little bit of time there, but there he comes in, knocks the ball.
Roberts checks in at fullback for the Gators. Taylor also on the field as one of the wideouts. Three wide receivers. Fullback stays in to help Johnson on 2nd and 10. Shotgun look. Complete to Taylor. And Taylor reaches for the first down with Tay Cody hanging on. And we take a look at the Seminoles defensive lineup. No superstars like a year ago, but a very rock-solid defense. Tony Bryant, number 40, we've watched him already. Jamal Reynolds in that lineup. Lamont Green is a leading tackler, even though he has missed 3 games. And Mario Edwards, who was very guilty of defensive holding on that interception, intercepted 4 passes a week ago against Wake Forest. On this play, there was offensive holding against the Gators. So instead of a first down, the ball is brought back to the 26.
Brent, I think you're going to call illegal procedure against the Gators, so that takes away an important 3rd down conversion, or 2nd down rather.
McCaslin swings wide right. And he's brought down by Mario Edwards, number 15.
Been interesting to see the play selection for Florida early in this game. Not so much the passing, but rather where they're passing from. A couple of times now, Johnson's been under center, but we expect to see him in the shotgun more times than not. Spurrier loves the shotgun.
Here's 3rd and 11. Noles, are they bluffing? They're coming with 2 backers. Johnson to the middle. He's got Taylor again, but short of the first down. Well short of the first down. The Gators must punt it away. Tay Cody, the defender.
Great tackle by Tay Cody, because Travis Taylor is so dangerous after he makes the catch. Cody had tight coverage, and as soon as Taylor made the catch, Cody made the grab.
So Cottrell, Wazalewski punting, I should say. David Wazalewski. And it is fielded by Durden of the Noles, sprinting to the right-hand side. Turns upfield, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 36-yard line. 34-yard punt and a 7-yard return. Timeout in Tallahassee. The big question about this game, can the Florida State offense move the ball behind Marcus Outson, making only his 2nd start? Chris Winkie out for the season because of a neck injury, underwent surgery, and now the young man from Fort Walton Beach, the same high school which produced the great Danny Werfel for the Gators, steps up under center. Number 14 going to throw it, put it into Warwick's hands right away on the opening play of the game, and Warwick for 9 yards out of bounds. Javon Curse pushed him out. So we have talked about Outson. Travis Minor, number 23, outstanding running back from Baton Rouge. And of course, he along with Warwick, number 9, they've got to keep the ball in their hands. And just like Florida, the question with the offensive line, can the tackles hold up? Brannon and Thomas here against this fierce front 7 of the Gators. 2nd down and 1 yard to go from the I formation. Minnis, the motion receiver, and Outson, who was a good high school runner, burrowing straight ahead, trying to extend for the first down. It will be close. Here is the defensive lineup today for the Gators, and you can see the first down signal. Reggie McGrew and Willie Cohens did not play last week, but they are in the defensive line, and folks, none better than these two. Javon Curse, 42, and 29, Mike Peterson. And Tony George again has been kicked out of the game, and freshman Robert Cromartie, number 25, is starting. He is only a freshman. He's 5'8", and on 1st and 10, you know the Noles want to test him with Warwick as soon as they can. Shotgun, Outson goes, dropped by Peter Warwick.
Warwick had a drop pass last week against Wake Forest. The good thing for Florida State is they got him the ball in the first play of the game. He only touched the ball twice last week against Wake. 1 reception and 1 running play, but you got to get the ball in number 9's hands because he is the difference maker for the Seminoles.
We look down at the Gator linebackers. Curse was a down lineman much of last week. He's standing up right now, attacking with a 4-3. Play fake, Outson, deep drop. Receivers covered, no screen, and he's hit at the 49-yard line. Well, John Saunders, the Buckeyes in Columbus want to know, how are the Badgers doing against Penn State, my friend?
Well, Brent, they wouldn't be too happy right now here on this Burger King update because Wisconsin's Nick Davis takes this punt at the 19, stumbles a bit, and then takes off. And the Nittany Lions don't look anywhere near him, looking slow on this play, as Davis goes 81 yards for the touchdown and a 7-0 lead. Brent.
All right, John, the road to Pasadena. Badgers win, they go. Outson again, pump fake on the shotgun, going to go deep down that sideline. Out of bounds and incomplete. The safety, Rod Grady. Strong safety coming over on that play, rotating over on the coverage. Outson from the shotgun, and the Noles are forced to punt. A defensive game, ball control, that would fit into Bobby Bowden's idea of a good game, wouldn't it, Dan?
Bobby would be surprised if it's not a low-scoring game. Key to the game, you got to stop the run and let his special teams and defense take over.
Now it's Keith Cottrell punting, and Travis McGriff is driven inside the 5, and there's a penalty flag prior to the snap. So it will come back, and the fireworks started real early in this one, folks. In case you just joined us, we had a little prize
Before the
fight.
snap, movement on the offensive line. Penalties 5 yards, still 4th down.
And a little prize fight at midfield before the fellas left for their final instructions. And Steve Spurrier lost a starting corner, George, as the result of it. And watching George when he came on the field way before the game, he was fired up.
Hey, he's a senior. You know, this is his last time to take a shot at the Seminoles. He's not going to have it.
Cottrell gets it off under pressure. McGriff fumbles, picks it up on the 18, runs laterally deep to the right and down at the 19-yard line. The war in Tallahassee well underway. No score. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford Motor Company. Better ideas driven by you. Gap Khakis. Chili's a proud sponsor of ABC College Football, and Solomon Smith Barney. Let's get to work. Success is earned. Here we are, scoreless. And we got a report from Jack Arute that Bill Goss told both coaches, midfield, that he was not going to tolerate any kind of nonsense like that. And he said the coaches are responsible for not letting it happen. And again, 3 players have been ejected. Steve Spurrier loses starting corner Tony George. Now the second offensive series for Spurrier and the Gators. Johnson off a fake, being chased, and it is complete. The tight end had slipped out of the backfield, and a penalty flag comes down again.
I think it's a late hit on the tight end. Aaron Kinney with just his 8th catch of the year. Johnson moving the pocket on the bootleg, found his tight end. And then maybe a little more losing of one's composure by the Seminoles.
Oh, we had
After
a chance.
the play, late hit,
ask.
personal foul on the defense. Penalties 15 yards.
Coach
and
Bowden,
1st down.
what concerns him the most about Florida here today? Here's what he said.
The thing that concerns me the most is that they'll break a long pass on you. Every week I see them play, and every time you look up, somebody is behind somebody catching a touchdown pass. And so you got 60 minutes that you got to keep them from getting behind you with a pass. And but I'd give them 2 right now if they'd promise that's all they'd get. I'd go ahead and just give them 2. They'd promise that's all they'd get. Man, they might get 5 or 6.
If Bobby likes that play, just a handoff to McCaslin, and he is met by Johnson, number 92 for Coach Bowden. One of the legends of college football out of West Virginia to come down here to Tallahassee. Put the show on the road as you look at the top 25 scores. Tennessee coming off its miracle, leading Kentucky by a field goal, and USC with a chance to dump the Bruins, leading out in the Rose Bowl. 2nd down and 9 at midfield for Johnson and the Gators. Off the play fake, Green is blocked, got plenty of time, coming deep down the middle, got him, McGriff! Touchdown, Gators! 50 yards, and just like Coach Bowden said, you look up, and maybe sooner or later, somebody gets deep behind a defensive back.
That defensive back was Tay Cody. And this is really Johnson's outlet receiver here. He wasn't looking at McGriff at all. But McGriff does a nice job of getting off the bump and then separating from the defensive back. Cody just falls down by himself, and McGriff is in the end zone.
For the extra point, it's Jeff Chandler, and stop before the snap. The holder for them is Billy Young, one of the backup quarterbacks. He's been a busy fella.
Dead ball foul. Contact by the defense. Penalties half the distance. We have another try for point.
The young man whose father was a dandy wide receiver in Gainesville. And just like that, on their second possession, the Gators score first. The crowd quiet. It was Travis McGriff, only 5'8", a senior. This is his 10th touchdown of the season. He has averaged 20 yards a catch after this reception as he breaks free on Cody. Timeout. Gators strike first. Jeff Chandler to kick it off, and there's a lot of speed back deep. Durden and Coles. Lavernius Coles toward the bottom of your screen. The fastest man ever here for the Seminoles. He has broken Deion Sanders' record. They have trouble. Durden's got it. 15 up to the middle and down at the 21-yard line. Well, Solomon Smith Barney remembers back in 1994. 31-3, the Gators led that year. It was a furious rally by the Seminoles. James Colsey with this interception. And the Noles with a chance to drive for the tie. Danny Cannell putting it into Warwick Dunn's hands. Then Dunn took a break, and in came Rock Preston. And they settled for a 31-all tie until they met in the Sugar Bowl, a game the Noles won. Warwick and Minnis are the wideouts. Steve Spurrier without a win in Tallahassee. Close that day with a tie. Hudson back in the shotgun. And the whistle coming.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
As far as Mark Richt and his goals today for Florida State on offense, like to see 450 yards total offense. That's about right for him. But the three big plays that score or set up a touchdown score, the key word here, touchdown. Can't be settling for field goals in a game against Florida.
Already 5 penalties. Richt is up there on the right. Has to be disappointed as Travis Minor is eaten alive. Alex Brown, one of the backup linebackers. Now, what Coach Stoops had to say about his goals.
Well, he wants to hold the Seminoles under 100 yards rushing, create some points off turnovers, and limit the big plays by Peter Warwick. He knows that if the Seminoles get Warwick off and rolling, they'll be a tough team to beat.
Stoops now can tee off. He's got 2nd and 16. Folks, you're looking at the hottest prospect among assistant coaches to become a head coach next year. Iowa, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Clemson. Who knows where he's going to wind up. Hudson off a play fake. Low, Warwick got it to the 23-yard line. Couldn't do much with it as Benny Alexander, the freshman. And again, they're going to try to challenge him repeatedly today. He has replaced Tony George, who was kicked out of the game.
Brett, that was a low throw by Marcus Outs, and Warwick made a nice job of going down and getting it before it hit the grass. If he catches the ball clean, he gets away from Alexander easily.
They're down in 7, so they take Alexander, who's had more defensive snaps, put him on Peter Warwick. Here's 3rd down, off a fake. Outside in trouble, fumble! Gators think they've got it. They do. Outzen fumbled the ball, and Florida inside the 20-yard line as Reggie McGrew off the injured list pounces on it. Knocked free by Brown.
The play fake doesn't fool anybody. Look at the pressure from Curse on one side. Here comes Brown with his left hand. That is a fumble. That's a good call, and McGrew is right there to fall on it and set up the Florida Gators inside the 20-yard line. Exactly what Bobby Stoops was talking about. Create turnovers.
First down for Johnson and the Gators. Cody tightens up on McGriff. Johnson changes it up at the line of scrimmage. Looking at a possible blitz from the linebackers. High, McGriff incomplete, and Cody was there. The pass was thrown a little bit high.
Yeah, but Travis McGriff would be the first to tell you he should have had that one. It wasn't audible by Johnson. Saw the blitz coming. McGriff did a nice job of getting inside. Cody got to make that grab.
Steve Spurrier has selected the next play for Johnson. 2nd down and 10. The tight end and McCaslin is the running back. Campbell on the fake of the end around. Got time, middle, incomplete. McGriff again working deep. That time he was covered. Let's check in on the UCLA Bruins. Florida State interested in that one. Let's go to John Saunders.
Brad, USC against UCLA, and Cade McNown, you've seen him pull out so many games. Here he goes early to Deshaun Foster, who spins into the end zone, the Bruins with a 7-3 lead, and they are marching as well. Kansas State, Michael Bishop with a touchdown pass, 7-0 their lead over Missouri. Brent.
John, the most dangerous offense in the country is right here, Florida. But write it down. The second one in the country is UCLA. Third down and 10. Johnson has McGriff on the corner to slip him out. He's got to stay as a blocker. Johnson in trouble, has to run out. Intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Sean Key.
Good pressure by the Seminoles. Forced Johnson out of the pocket. Hearing that pressure is going to come in, he's going to come out to the outside and then throw late down the middle. Watch the zone defense by the Seminoles here. And there's just nobody for Johnson. He should have just sailed this one out of the back of the end zone. Boy, they were standing in line, taking numbers to see who was going to pick that one off.
Dan, while you were looking at the replay, the offensive fellows from Florida State were attempting to quiet the crowd. They're having difficulty hearing Outson at the line of scrimmage. On first down, here's Minor stepping over to the left, gets past the linebacker, and breaks free. Close to midfield. Cromartie making the stop. We go down below to Jackaroo.
Brent, there we go. Brent, this was supposed to be this man's game, the quarterback, Chris Winkie. He is recovering from neck surgery, but when Marcus Outson came out, discouraged from that last series, that man, Chris Winkie, took him to the sidelines and counseled him. Winkie's not supposed to be on the sidelines for fear of being jostled, but he said it's more important today.
All right, Jack, and his replacement, Outson from Fort Walton Beach, going to put it up on first down again. Got it complete into Warwick's hands. Soft on this corner, and Peter Warwick defended by Benny Alexander, but it's 11 more yards, and the Noles are on the move.
And it really makes you wonder just how much the loss of Tony George is going to affect the Gators secondary. We're seeing a lot more zone than we anticipated seeing. We thought we'd see a lot more blitzing of Marcus Outson, and that would make man-to-man on the outside. But when you lose a great corner like George and you replace him with Cromartie, who's a freshman, and on the other side, Alexander is a freshman as well.
Warwick has caught 3 passes for 29 yards. Morgan now checks in as a wideout. And here comes Travis Minor sprinting right. Big hole, 35, 30, 25, and busted out of bounds at the 21-yard line. First down again, a 22-yard run. Grady perhaps saved a touchdown, and the young man from Baton Rouge was rolling.
Well, he rolled for a 21-yarder. This one he goes 22. And the key at the end of this play, as he pops to the outside, is the block by Robert Morgan, number 87, right there. That gets him the corner. That gets him the sideline. And there comes Grady with the big hit.
Anthony Mitchell checks in for the Gators. First down and 10. Warwick goes in motion. Outson using Minor again, and he is stopped, but he burrows his way to the 19-yard line. And a reminder, of course, this is big holiday week, and we will have college football coming your way on Friday. Ricky Williams needs 63 yards to break Tony Dorsett's all-time record. You can see it at 11 a.m. Eastern time. A rivalry game with Texas A&M, one of 2, because later that day we'll go to Lincoln, Nebraska, where the Cornhuskers of Nebraska will be hosting Colorado. So it is a doubleheader coming your way Friday here on ABC. Second down. Need 9 yards to go. Play fake, Outson. Incomplete, so it will be third down, and we get word that Kentucky scores, and they lead Tennessee 7-6. So Gator fans and Seminole fans are alike in pulling for 2 of the undefeated 3 to lose. But UCLA has just scored again, and now they lead the Trojans 14-3. Kansas State was ahead. by 7 points early against Missouri. Now UCLA is ahead, but Tennessee is behind. They need 2 of 3 to lose for Stoops and Spurrier and the gang, or Bowden and his gang, to make it to Tempe to play for all the Tostitos. Now here's what they wanted to keep Outson in. So the officials try to get it all set, and Travis Minor jogs in from the sideline. This is 3rd down and 9. The Noles need to reach the 11. Or we will see Janikowski. Quarterback draw. Outson sprints back, and he is buried by Rod Grady, who has been active. And that probably will signal the appearance of Sebastian Janikowski, who has made 24 of 29, but the offense wants to go for it, and Bobby says go ahead. 4th down, and now they change up, and here comes Janikowski.
The Seminoles have been absolutely fantastic turning points, getting points off of turnovers. 10 of their last turnovers have been turned into points. 4 of them, with this one coming up, will be field goals.
He was making 54-yarders in practice. This is 31-yarder, but there is a flag on the play. If it's a 5-yarder against the Gators, it's a 1st down. Outson the holder.
Delay a game, though, Brent, against Florida State.
Well, just back Janikowski up, and he'll get the kick. Did you ever see a kicker practice more than he did, Dan, before the game?
No, and where he was practicing from was even more amazing. 55, 60, 62-yard bombs, and Bobby Bowden says, I'll give him a shot at a long one, but it won't be until the end of the 1st half or the end of the game. He doesn't want to give up that great field position in case he misses.
There's a 36-yarder. You can see it from behind the goalposts. And the young man from Poland, former soccer star, makes this a 7-3 game. Sebastian Janikowski, if it's close, he's critical. Timeout. So the road to Tempe and the championship game. Kansas State ahead, Kentucky leading Tennessee, and UCLA with 2 scores against USC. Both Florida and Florida State feel, and rightly so, that the winner of this game is in position to play for the championship if 2 of those 3 teams that are still unbeaten lose. And now Campbell, number 10. All the speed in the world, but you're not going to get a chance against Janikowski. He kicks it out of the end zone. And a reminder, next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on ABC, the Skins game. Nice to see Greg Norman back on the course. Fred Couples, Marco Mira, and the defending champion Tom Lehman all next weekend here on ABC.
One thing I'd like to see him do with that Skins game, Brent, is play for their own money, like you and I always have to do. A little more pressure, you know, that $5 putt there you got to make.
I've never seen one of those fellas go down inside his own jeans.
Never do, Dan.
1st down and 10 for Johnson and the Gators. McCaslin stays in. McGriff is off to his left. They're keeping a tight end in this game against the rush. Johnson hit. Fumble recovered by incomplete is a ruling by Goss. But he was smoked that time. He was sandwiched as Larry Smith and David Warren climb all over him.
It's going to take a long time to get rid of this one. That's why Spurrier likes the shotgun so much. Kind of a half of a play fake there, and Johnson doesn't have time to come to his secondary receiver before Larry Smith is there along with Warren.
Smith gets back down. 4 down. The linebackers in the gaps not coming. Here's McCaslin, couldn't even get off the mark, and Larry Smith rolling in again.
This is the #1 defense in the nation, and the reason is their front 4 gets unbelievable penetration in the backfield. Larry Smith, 10 tackles for losses already on the year, and 28% of the time the front 4 is making tackles, either sacks or tackles for losses in the enemy's backfield.
3rd down and 15 for the Gators. Willis is slotted.
three wideouts off to Johnson's left, and he throws back to the right. The Taylor tries to slip a tackle and could not, because Sean Key would not let go. Now remember, Sean Key intercepted a ball down at the goal line, and now he comes up with a big tackle on a flanker screen, and Florida forced a punt. Very safe, conservative call by Spurrier when he's backed up. Crowd gets into it, makes it tough for the quarterback to make changes. That was a great play by Sean Key, coming up and stopping Taylor before he could get rolling. The Noles can wind up with field position. Dave Wazalewski standing inside the Gators' 5-yard line. Freshman punter Durden. Good punt at the 38-yard line, and it was on the sideline. Got a good block. Flag is thrown. No, because it was an illegal block that time on the return over there on that sideline, and it was Troy Saunders who delivered the blow illegally, and that will negate the 11-yard return on that punt. Troy Saunders blocking on number 4 for the Gators, Marquand Manuel. And the people are not going to like this. They thought it was a good block. Number 4 is Marquand, and that is a good block. That's a terrible call. Saunders had his head in the front of Marquand, and that should never have been called an illegal block. But it is the 7th penalty for 52 yards against the Noles in the opening quarter. Now Outson on first down, putting it up to Warwick. There is Peter Warwick's 4th catch of this game, and 11 more yards for number 9. They're really working the down-and-out route to Peter Warwick. This is about 3 of them so far. And the corners, again, for Florida are playing way off Warwick, giving him much too room. But you got to worry about their experience factor, don't you?
Why we were kept out of practice. They wanted Outson to throw the ball on first down every time, Dan.
You know, they wanted to get him off to a start. And these are really good confidence-building throws for Marcus Outson.
First down on the Noles 39-yard line. Shotgun inside handoff, and here's Travis Minor over to the right-hand side. And he stepped out of bounds at the 42. Let's get an update on Wisconsin. Let's go to John Saunders.
Right, Penn State against Wisconsin. The Badgers looking at the Rose Bowl with a win. Mike Samuel here tosses it towards the end zone. Chris Chambers dives and comes up with a catch, 26 yards. They lead Penn State 14-0. Meanwhile, Mississippi State beat Arkansas on Brian Hazelwood's field goal in the last 7 seconds of the game, and they could go to the SEC championship game with a win next week.
Exactly. You go to Starkville, you got your hands full, especially coming off that heartbreaking defeat of a week ago. 2nd down for Outson and the Noles. Good, strong runner in high school, and he is close to the first down. Javon Kearse coming from behind. We'll remind you that MetLife Blink Snoopy 1 is teamed up with ABC Sports to provide you these aerial views of today's college football matchup between Florida and Florida State. And the MetLife Blimp typically cruises at speeds of 35 miles an hour at an altitude of 1,200 feet. 3rd down and 1, but it is going to be a long one coming up for the Noles. Travis Minor has been extremely effective as a runner behind the right side of his offensive line today. He flaring this time, and Outson's going to take off himself for the first down. Crosses midfield. The young man was a runner in high school at Fort Walton Beach. And he showed you why. It was not an option attack that he featured, but he did run for more touchdowns as a senior than he did throwing.
He's got 5 rushes on the day so far, Brett, for 17 yards, and all 4 of his completions have been to number 9.
So he's keeping the ball in Peter Warwick's hands. Warwick is out to his left. Alexander is the corner matched against him. He's been throwing on first down, and he will again. Outson down, sacked. by the Gators at the 44-yard line. Reggie McGrew, 92, in on the Noles quarterback, and we go down to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, deep in the bowels of the practice and film rooms of Florida State Seminoles, there is a handwritten poster that says 1998 victims. It lists for each game 4 players that must be taken out of the game. As you can see today, Florida State Seminoles have selected the secondary. 1 down and 3 to go, Brent. George is already out.
Exactly. Kicked out of the game because of the pregame fight. 2nd down and long after the sack. Shotgun. Outson going to throw it. Warwick, the former high school quarterback, going to throw it back. Outson drops the ball. One of the trick plays that the Noles practiced. Peter Warwick, a high school quarterback, on the throwback. And you can see what he did as a senior. 13 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And that will leave the Noles with 3rd and 16.
And if Marcus Outson catches this ball, he's got all 5 of his offensive linemen in front of him. Talk about a screen pass. But Marcus Outson hands let him down that time. Warwick threw a perfect pass to him.
Bullard and Gurley check into the lineup. And the defensive line for the Gators, they continue the rotation for Coach Stoops. Fresh rushmen at every opportunity. Outson steps up away from pressure, gets it off to the middle, complete to Peter Warwick. First down, Florida State at the 31-yard line, a 24-yard gain. A big play from Marcus Outson, who snaps right back after dropping one to hit Warwick with a huge 3rd down pass.
Well, let me do what I do best, and that's not catch the ball. It's throw to number 9. The good thing that Outson did this time is he bought some time by stepping up in the pocket. Again, it's a zone coverage, very loose by Florida. That allows Warwick to get his 5th pass of the day.
And Lavernius Coles replaces him as Warwick steps off to the side now to take a break. More speed on that side against the Gators. And the flag comes flying prior to the snap.
We're going to get him for 12 men.
Dead ball foul before the snap. There's an illegal substitution on the offense. They had 12 players on the field more than 3 seconds. It's a 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's the 8th penalty for 57 yards against Bowden. He was unhappy a week ago against Wake Forest.
Well, they had 14 against Wake Forest. Remember, 1 penalty today against Florida State took away 7 points on the pass interception.
That was on the first series of the game. And, you know, there's something we expected. The hat really didn't fit, Steve, that he came out in. It just wasn't going to work, and it wasn't a visor. It was a baseball cap. Couldn't get it gone completely.
Yeah, it was raining earlier. It's kind of clearing up a little bit now.
1st down and 15 as a result of the penalty. Minor slips out as a receiver. They've got him. But the Gators don't give him much. A couple of yards and no more as Rutledge, the linebacker, and another penalty flag.
This one's going to go against Florida, Brent, roughing the passer. Marcus Outson, after he delivered the ball, was just tossed down like a rag doll.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense. Henry's 15 yards and an automatic 1st down. With an accepted foul, we'll have 1 untimed down in the quarter. 1st down.
So we come to the end of the 1st quarter. Alex Brown, number 13, rolling in on the Noles quarterback. Catches him late. An ABC sports presentation continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Let us come back and reset the scene as the quarter cannot end on a penalty. So let's see. Referee Goss has got things reset here. The quarter has ended on the clock, but there was a penalty, and it cannot end on a penalty. Therefore, with a 1st and 10 after, and that's illegal procedure.
It can't end on this penalty either. Carlos Thomas getting the quick start there at right tackle, number 60. Way offsides.
Before the snap, false start on the offensive line, 5-yard penalty.
The 9th penalty of the first quarter against the Seminoles, their own worst enemy. 1st down at 15 against Spurrier and the Gators coming up. And again, a rotation of the defensive linemen continuing for Stoops. Peter Warwick is off to Outson's right. They're going to hand it to Minor. Minor slips the tackle, picks up a couple of yards as our first quarter comes to an end. So there you have it. 7-3 Florida. This time we will be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We look down on the scene here in Tallahassee. Crowd in excess of 80,000. Standing room only. This is the only turf that Steve Spurrier has never conquered. He's the only Florida coach never to win a game in Tallahassee. The Seminoles trying to keep that streak alive. They trail at 7-3 as we start the second 15 minutes. Marcus Outson, the backup quarterback. He's been very respectable. Travis Minor stepping his way to the 18-yard line. He's been a solid runner. And Peter Warwick has done a job as the dangerous outside wide receiver. McGrew makes another tackle.
And when we talked to Marcus yesterday, it's rare to have a quarterback tell you that the key for him today is to not make mistakes. Usually you're talking about what type of routes you want to run, who you got to get the ball to, but Marcus knows that for them to have any success today, they've got to limit his mistakes and not give Florida any cheap turnovers.
3rd down and 9. Warwick goes to the short side of the field. Cromartie tightens up a little bit on him. Outson looks in that direction. Pump fake, covered up, and down he goes, sacked at the 25-yard line. The 3rd sack of the game. USC on the move against the Bruins. We send you to John Saunders.
Well, Brent, you knew that the Trojans' defense would be tough on Cade McNown, and Chris Claiborne is extremely tough here. Picks off the loose ball, and then a good bit of running gets it downfield to about the 4-yard line. That would set up a Carson Palmer to Antoine Harris touchdown, 14.
And here is Janikowski with a 42-yarder. He is 2 for 2. Janikowski from 36 and 42 yards pulls the Noles to within 1. Timeout. So we quickly regroup here in Tallahassee with the scores. We come back to the game in action. Janikowski's kickoff 6 yards deep. And Campbell, the fastest man on the Gator team, out to the 25-yard line.
Totally fearless true freshman. Campbell taking that ball about 6 yards deep and diving across the 20. Gives you a pretty good indication just how fast he is.
A 1-point game in Tallahassee. First down. Jackson checks in at tailback. His first carry of the game. Back from his injured ankle. And Terry Jackson, the senior, whose brother was the great Willie Jackson, now playing with Jacksonville. David Warren making the stop. Is now in at tailback. Picked up a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and 9.
And Spurrier told us on Thursday that he thought that Jackson was only about 80%. And when you have an ankle injury, as he does, that makes it difficult to cut back. And Jackson is normally a very good cutback runner.
Kareem is the motion wideout. Play fake Johnson. Got him complete. Taylor to the 42-yard line. A first down off a 16-yard reception with Dexter Jackson, the defender.
This is a great job by Doug Johnson. Yeah, the pressure after the ball fake right here, I mean, it's immediate. And it's all surrounding him. He steps up very calmly and gets the ball to Taylor. This is where the Seminoles have to be very careful. Got to get to Taylor before he can use his running ability. He's a good one in the open field.
Spurrier is keeping the tight end in the game most of the way. It has been 88 Kinney. He's over to the left. Kareem to block on the other side, and McCaslin straight ahead for about a yard with Johnson making the stop. Let me check myself on that. Jackson still in the game at tailback, replacing Eugene McCaslin. So,
well, Spurrier wants to use the tight end to help on these defensive ends of Florida State. That time, Kareem helped out on the other defensive end. A lot of problems last week against South Carolina for both Zach Pillar and Cooper Carlisle protecting the quarterback. Johnson got hit a lot last week.
2nd and 9 and 3 wideouts for Johnson. The fullback is there. Play fake to Jackson. Johnson goes deep down the sideline and incomplete.
And there's a flag on the far side in the secondary, Brent. This might be a holding against Florida State.
Darrell Jackson, one of the intended receivers. That's an automatic first down.
And we think it's against number 27, Tate Cody. Remember, he got burned earlier in the game by McGriff. If that's holding, yeah, looks like he got that left hand just on the belly of Jackson.
That is the 10th penalty against Florida State for 72 yards. The Gators cross midfield. First down. You're watching a baseball player, Doug Johnson, how quickly he transfers the ball up to the throwing hand, and he hits McGriff for still another first down, 13 more yards on the reception. In watching Johnson, when he takes the snap, it is so important to see how quickly he transfers the ball like a baseball player would, and he's able to get it away against the rush like he does right there.
And the ball is held high. It's right around his shoulder. The ball never goes down. And watch this sharp route by Travis McGriff. He's got great legs. That allows him to be able to separate from the defensive back and make those sharp cuts.
Tate Cody has been benched, and Reggie Durden replaces him in the defensive backfield for the Seminoles. Play fake. Johnson to Taylor out of bounds. Is covered by Edwards, and we can take a look at what the fellows have got planned for you coming up next Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Michigan State against Penn State in the Big Ten, or for the ACC, North Carolina State against North Carolina. And then at night, prime time, 8 p.m., Notre Dame. Still a possibility for a BCS Bowl against USC. And, of course, they must beat LSU up in South Bend today. Been a disappointing season for LSU in the Southeastern Conference, but they can erase all that with a win in South Bend. 2nd down and 10 for Johnson and the Gators. Middle, almost intercepted on the deflection. Allen almost got it on the deflection.
Chris Hope should have had it on a fly. Ball went right through Chris Hope's hands, number 28. Here's Hope right here at the bottom of the screen. Johnson's going to throw him a perfect strike. Right through his hands, and then Allen shows the reason why he plays middle linebacker and not tight end. Got no hands.
Here's your 3rd down and 10. The Gators 0 for 3 on 3rd down. 5 wide receivers for Johnson. Sacked at the 45-yard line. Allen makes up for not holding on to the football by sacking the Gator quarterback.
That also pushes the Gators out of field goal range. Jeff Chandler's career long is 46 yards. Watch number 55 get by the tackle there. That's Carlisle Cooper. That's the problem that the Gators had last week protecting the quarterback. The tackle's not holding up man-to-man on those defensive ends.
That's an 11-yard loss, and the Noles are going to counter with Peter Warwick as a return man. Wasilewski to punt it. Warwick signals fair catch, and he's bluffing, and it bounces out of bounds. A beautiful directional punt by Wasilewski, the freshman. He'll pin Florida State inside the 10. Timeout. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. Nike and BASF. We don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. 10:06 to go in the first half. 7-6. Florida leading Florida State. The Noles ball coming out from the 6-yard line after that beautiful punt by Wazalewski. Minor steps to the middle for a yard and no more as Rutledge, one of the 3 fine linebackers, steps into that hole for the Gators. And Dan, how about a quarterback comparison? Surprise here, huh?
Well, the thing here for Marcus Outzen, his last 3 passes were complete, but of those 6 completions, 5 of them have been to Peter Warrick, and it's important for Outzen to give the appearance as an inexperienced quarterback of having confidence. Even if you don't have it, you got to at least sell the fact to your teammates that you're right on the money. Doing a good job so far.
Second down. Peter Warrick is off to his left. Alexander loosens up, throws underneath to a diving Warrick, and he underthrew him that time, and it will bring up 3rd down.
You've seen a lot of play-action passes by both teams today, and I think that time the footwork really gave Outzen some problems there. That's a tough throw to make, but he had to spin his feet all the way around after the fake, and that's why it came up a little bit short.
Alex Brown caught back onto the field for this 3rd and 8. The Noles are 2 of 6. Outzen converted 1, stepping back through the pressure to the middle and then through. Play fake, in trouble. Kearse trying to get free. Fumble! Florida's got a touchdown! Florida's got the football at the bottom of that pile unless it was taken away. Touch! They're going to call it a safety. A safety.
Man, Gerard,
look at that.
Gerard Warren thought he had it. Number 61, his teammates tell him to get that helmet back on, but he was all over that ball in the end zone. Again, it's a play-action fake, and it's not fooling anybody on that defensive line of Florida's. Ball gets knocked out right there, and watch Warren, number 61, come over here.
Boy, that's a touchdown.
That should have been a touchdown. Great job by Jason Whitaker stripping it, but clearly Warren had the ball for the touchdown.
He had broken the plane. There's no question of it. Had the ball wrapped up. It looked that way live, and Warren is still over there complaining about it, and it was Reggie McGrew, 92, who flew in from the backside to knock the ball free. And there was enormous pressure coming from the right from Javon Kearse on that play also, along with Warren. I mean, that was a General Custer play. Where did the Gators come from on that one, baby?
Got to give Jason Whitaker a lot of credit for not quitting on the play, not conceding the touchdown, and getting his hand in there and knocking it away. But you got to wonder where the officials were and why those hands signaling touchdown didn't come up right away when Warren was all over that ball.
Well, Janikowski, this is only fair. Put him back on the 20-yard line and see if he can kick it 80 yards to the goal line, or we're going to get a return. Campbell and Gillespie, there's great speed back deep now for the Gators. Gillespie going to give it a shot from the 15. Gillespie looking for a hole and no further than the 35-yard line. If you were a scout, Dan, for an NFL team, wouldn't you come here and just take notes?
No, I would do a whole lot more than just take notes. I'd have a contract in hand. And I'm saying, son, you know, I know Bobby doesn't want to hear this either, but why stay in school when you can kick the ball like he can? It's only a sophomore, and I know that Bobby's got to be worried about, you know, he loses so many players this year.
To tell you, he's still teaching him English.
And to butt out.
First down. Coming up with 9 minutes left in the opening half. Johnson. Here's the handoff for a couple of yards behind the left side. And let's go back and take another look. First of all, notice how the Gators jump the play. And it'll be McGrew who will come and knock it free.
And it's at real-time speed here. This is in slow motion. is what the officials were looking at. There's Warren. That's a touchdown, folks. No question in my mind. As you said, Brent, he was in the end zone. No question about breaking the plane. Gerard Warren got robbed.
Second down and 8. But it is 9-6 up on the board right now. Field goal difference. Gators with the ball. Johnson, the shotgun, pressure, gets it off. Kareem short of the first down. This will be third down and about a yard with a flag down on the play.
This one's in the Florida backfield, so you might think it's going to be holding.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense. Penalty will be 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
And it mounts against Florida State. Time now for our Affleck trivia question. Florida State became only the second team in ACC history to win the league title after losing their first game this season. Which was the first ACC team, and who coached them? Lose your first and then win the title in the ACC. So we'll be back with the Affleck answer in a short time. And here another penalty. That is 11 against Florida State. 11 penalties for 87 yards. Three wides off to the left. Inside, handoff. McCaslin is back, and we've got another yellow flag thrown by the linesman on the near side that time.
And it appeared that David Warren, number 99, was in the neutral zone. Another penalty against Florida State.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Take a look at the previous penalty where there was hands to the face. There it is right there. Number 58 is Jamal Reynolds, putting his hands right in the face mask of Zach Pillar.
Now 12 penalties for 92 yards. Now first down and 5. Bowden and his staff livid right now by the number of mistakes that are plaguing the Noles. Inside handoff, and another one comes flying. Gillespie carrying the ball from scrimmage. And this time a holding call going against Florida, apparently. Yes, exactly. Let's see. We'll wait for Goss to sort it out, and somebody to arrive with a visor.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the start of the foul.
Coming up on Valvoline Halftime Night A, John Saunders and Todd Blackley. They'll have scores and highlights from around the country. So the scrimmage line will be back at the 41-yard line. First down and 16 make it for Florida. Johnson. And he has got Jackson. Now to the 44-yard line.
Boy, and Tate Cody's really having a rough day. We've seen a penalty called on him for holding. He got burned by Travis McGriff on the touchdown pass, and that time Jackson makes the catch on the curl and wheels to the outside, gets away from Cody and picks up valuable yards.
Hope checks into that secondary along with Sean Key. We face second down and 7. Johnson using hand signals for his wideouts because of the noise level. Gets great time. And on the roll, throws McGriff, far sideline. Got it at the 21-yard line. What a dandy that was for 24.
And the man he beat, number 27, Tate Cody again. But this really isn't Cody's problem or his fault. because Johnson does such a good job of getting out of the pocket. Look how much time McGriff has to run one pattern, then change his pattern when he sees his quarterback's in trouble, and then make a fantastic catch as he goes high to pull it down and get his feet in bounds.
3 catches, 87 yards, including that 50-yard scoring strike. And it is now first down for Johnson and the Gators. The ball at the 21-yard line. Here's the end around. Campbell coming back the other way off the fake. Campbell with a burner, out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Dexter Jackson. We've seen them run that play. They'll run a double reverse off of it, and they'll also throw a pass, and it happens so quick.
It really does. Campbell is so fast when he comes around on that end around that the defensive backs, they have to respect the reverse. First down and goal. And congratulations to Travis McGriff. #1 now for Florida.
Johnson has 3 wideouts. He's going to take a timeout. Took a look at the coverage that time and said he better talk about it with Coach Spurrier and not waste a play here. Reggie Durden was in over on the corner that time.
Also got a peek at the play clock, and it said 0-2 as he called the timeout.
So we will take a break. Florida leading it 9-6. Remember, this drive started with a safety. Then the kick. Florida gets the ball again. Up now by 3. McCaslin is the running back. Left side. And he is hit short of the 5-yard line. Sean Key steps in at first. And Stevens, number 52, joins in.
Well, Sean Key is making, shall we say, key plays for the Seminole defense. 1 interception, and that tackle there kept McCaslin from possibly getting in the end zone. Nobody between him and McKee.
Second down and goal. 3 wideouts to the right. McGriff alone. They look McGriff, curls, dive back, no. Third down coming up.
A good job by Tay Cody that time, stopping at the goal line. Watch Cody, number 27. He's not going to go any further. There's the pass. It's thrown behind McGriff, but he had to throw it there because the safety was coming over there. That was good team defense by the Seminoles.
Third down and 5 for Johnson and the Gators. Mickey Andrews orchestrates the defense for the Noles. And he's going to bring him on over. We've got a timeout. Johnson will go across the way with the Gators. Well, Steve Spurrier won a Heisman Trophy as a player over in Gainesville back in the 60s. And let's take you back to the Aflac trivia question and show you our answer now regarding the ACC. It's the first team to win the league title after losing that opening conference game. Some of you who are Steve Spurrier fans remember it was Duke. Steve Spurrier was the coach. You know, Dan, you can measure coaches in a variety of ways, but I've always thought the fellas that go to places like Duke and Northwestern, out your place at Oregon, that don't have the steady stream of blue chip talent, if they can turn those programs around and win, they can win any place. And I think Steve would be the first to tell us that here in the state of Florida, there's an abundance and a wealth of talent that has helped him.
Well, and the thing about Steve Spurrier, his strength is really his relentlessness. Whether it's off the field playing golf or coaching his team, he attacks the entire field for the entire game. And when you play defense against a team that he coaches, he wears you out.
Well, let's see what the master has come up with here on 3rd and 5. You'll have 2 receivers you can see at the top of your screen. McGriff is the inside or slot man. Kareem goes in motion. McCaslin to run to the middle, and nothing doing there. The Noles held their ground, and you would expect Spurrier to send in the field goal unit, and Jeff Chandler right now, and not happy. with how that one turned out. Wears his emotions on his sleeve. He does. Billy Young is the holder. This a 22-yard attempt for Chandler. They've had a touchdown and a safety. And now Chandler adds a 22-yard field goal. So it is 12-6. The Florida Gators with the lead and 4.5 minutes left in our opening half. Back at Tallahassee, two tough defensive teams. Florida State giving up this season 11.5 points a game, and the Gators only 13.2 per game. Low scoring, 12-6. Florida with the lead, and Durden coming out from a yard for the Seminoles. Slips a tackle, 20, cuts back, and he is out to the 26-yard line. Well, a reminder of primetime NFL football coming up this weekend. Folks, keep an eye on the New Orleans Saints. They've got a great defensive line emerging down there under Ditka. San Francisco's offensive line very shaky. Sunday night on ESPN. Monday night, something to prove. Dan Marino and the Dolphins. They were eaten up by New England last year. Patriots in a struggle. That's Monday night. First down and 10. To throw again on first down, and it is complete. And that is Dugans, his first reception of the game. And Robert Cromartie, the freshman who was forced to play today because Tony George was tossed out of the game, was the corner.
Dugans is the second leading receiver for the Seminoles. This looks just like we've seen all day long, an out route by either Peter Ward, this time by Dugans, in front of very soft coverage by Cromartie and Alexander, a couple of freshmen.
On first down, here's Travis Minor stepping to the left. Peterson throws him down at the 39-yard line. Mike Peterson doesn't get nearly the amount of publicity that Javon Curse does, but folks who scout him and watch him every week will tell you that he's every bit as effective as a linebacker. He is the leading tackler, and there is a Seminole player down here near the 40-yard line.
I think it's fullback Lamar Glenn.
So we will take a break and come back. 4:05 to go in the first half, and Florida leading 12-6.
Hi, I'm Winston Scott, and I've got a secret. It's nestled among rolling hills and towering pines, where Gothic archways for nearly a century and a half have welcomed young minds. It's where the spirit of service is measured against the spirit of history's heroes, and graduates go on to become governors, stars of Broadway, and even star-walking astronauts. This is Florida State University, my secret to success.
So Glenn shaken up, and that means that William McCray, number 36, checks in at fullback. Let's get an update on Kansas State, and here's John Saunders. John.
Right after the big win against Nebraska, how would Kansas State respond? Well, Missouri's been right in their faces. Corby Jones, 20 yards to Kareem Wise. They missed the point after. Missouri's had a lead at halftime every game this year and leads it right now 13-10. Brent.
Now, their bottom, John, has been hanging on, but it's tough in Columbia. Coach Smith done a good job of turning that program around as Lamar Glenn helped off to the sideline. And Knowles keeping their fingers crossed because he's an outstanding blocking fullback. They felt he did a very good job last year in that tough loss over in Gainesville. So coming up to the line now, 2nd and 9, 3:54 up on the clock. From the shotgun, Minor flaring, almost knocked out of his hand, and it is incomplete. Very dangerous bat there as Alex Brown almost stripped him.
Florida State has been their own worst enemy today. Look at this, 12 penalties, and we still have 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first half. The turnover and the 4 sacks, almost a sack that time.
And looking at 3rd and 9 against this ferocious Gator front. Peterson, Curse, Rutledge, the 3 linebackers, as good as any trio in the land. And Outson moves the pocket hard to the right. Rutledge closing in. Now Brown all over him, and they're sacked. Again, that's number 5. 5 sacks for the Gators here in the first half, and it was the freshman Alex Brown that time.
Brent Outson made up his mind to run with this ball, but he never told his guard, Jerry Carmichael, number 71, that that's what he was going to do. At some point along here, he's got to yell to number 71, go, go, go. Go ahead and block this guy. Ends up that his own man gets in his way.
Keith Cottrell. McGriff on a returnable punt, runs up and whacked right away with that great coverage speed that both of these schools display. A 29-yard punt, but absolutely no return. And the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 is under the command of the captains Marty Chandler and Brian Cummer. And the MetLife Blimp Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 have been providing these shots of sporting events since 1987. The scene here in Tallahassee. Dan Fouts and Jack Arute. I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along for what so far has been a defensive tussle here in Tallahassee. Florida State with a couple of field goals. Only 1 touchdown in the game, and that a 50-yard pass from Johnson to McGriff. For Florida, McGriff again going against Cody. Incomplete this time and out of bounds. And Jack, what's our weather forecast? Looks a little gloomier out here, my friend.
Well, Brent, it's getting gloomier as the minutes tick off. It's starting to get dark, and it has begun to spit again. Generally, that's the precursor to some good-sized rain, but probably will be at halftime before we see it. Let's update you on the condition of Lamar Glenn. They're going to evaluate his ankle at halftime. Right now, he's questionable to return.
All right, Jack, second down and 10. The 3 wide receivers for the Gators are off to Johnson's left. Here comes the rush, steps up against it. Sideline incomplete. Overthrew Taylor that time.
And Brent, the rush was there. Jamal Reynolds giving Zach Pillar all kinds of problems on that corner.
And there we can see the situation. Missouri leading Kansas State. Tennessee has jumped back all over Kentucky, and UCLA big. I mean big, but remember the Bruins have still got to come to the state of Florida. They play Miami on December 5th. Third down and 10 for the Gators. Inside handoff, and the running back tripped. McCaslin went down at the 35-yard line, and so the punter, David Wazalewski, trots onto the field.
That's a great job by the Seminole defense as their fans salute them as they come off the field. Florida had great field position, did nothing with it.
Reggie Durden will attempt to light a fire here with 2:20 to go. The Florida State offense has not scored a touchdown against the Gators here in this first half. They would settle for a field goal if they can get it in the closing minutes. And the punt will roll dead inside the 20-yard line. David Wazalewski, only a freshman, punting extremely well for Florida. That is a 45-yarder. Well, we got a little tennis action for you tomorrow. The finals of the Chase Championships. Hingis will take on Davenport in the finals for Madison Square Garden, the season-ending event on the WTA Tour. There's your Chase Championships. First down and 10 coming up now for Florida State. They will have 2 minutes to work with and 2 timeouts left. And it's a long way to go for Marcus Outson against this defense. Rush 4. Outson moves to the right. Incomplete and out of bounds. Dan, it's going to be hard going against this defense for Florida State. They're going to need, it looks like, a couple of breaks to climb back into this baby.
You know, they need to get their running game going. Travis Minor had a couple of good runs in the first quarter, but since then, remember, he ripped off a 21-yarder, then had a 22-yarder, but since then they've gone completely away from the run.
Now Javon Curse will get down at a 3-point and rush from the right defensive end. Coming from the backside, there's Travis Minor, and he is stopped after a gain of a couple of yards and no more by Cromartie, the cornerback, who is holding up on that corner quite well.
Well, that time Bobby Stoops put his team in a 2 deep and let the corners play a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage, looking for the running play by Minor, and Cromartie was in perfect position, and really a nice form tackle brought down Minor.
And he has been pummeled by that front, knocked down 6 times, sacked 5 times.
37 sacks allowed by the Seminoles this year. That's unheard of.
Here comes a 3rd down and 7. Minor not going to get the 7 yards. And Florida State will be forced to punt it away here with a minute remaining in our opening half. Keith Cottrell trots onto the field, and Florida uses a timeout.
That's wise use of the timeout. They should get the ball with pretty good field position. Cottrell averages about 41 yards per punt. But on a cold and kind of damp day, the punts don't seem to be really traveling very far. So I would expect Florida to have good field position.
You know, the start of this game reminded me of those great Miami wars of the old days. Miami with everybody, including Notre Dame.
And the Irish won today. Big over LSU. 39-36. What a great game. That must have been in South Bend. We welcome those of you who watched it. And the Fighting Irish and their fans have got to be excited. Got a chance for one of the 4 majors in the Bowl Championship Series. Beaten only once. And that was by Michigan State. Michigan State doesn't have many wins this year, folks, but consider 2 that they do have against Notre Dame and Ohio State. The only losses those 2 teams have suffered. So McGriff will trot back, and he will try to give the Gators a quick strike here in the final minute. Try to give them any kind of decent field position. Low snap. Cottrell hurries it off. Under the circumstances, good punt. It'll roll dead at the 42-yard line. Used up 8 seconds.
And Clay Ingram, the long snapper, got away with one that time. He had a low snap last week against Wake Forest. But this might tell you the story about this series. 9 out of 10 last meetings, the team that's ahead at halftime has won the game. What do you think, Brent?
I was here when that wasn't the case for number 10. Okay,
what happened then?
I remember 31-3, folks, and going to the 4th quarter, and Danny Cannell pulling the trigger, and we wound up tied and then went to the Sugar Bowl. Noel fans loved that one. Steve Spurrier determined to win for the first time in Tallahassee right now, determined not to let this one get away. Here comes pressure. Wanted McGriff, and he cut back toward the sideline on the play, and it will be 2nd down.
That's one of the benefits of being in the shotgun formation, is that Johnson can feel the pressure faster, and he knows exactly where it's coming from. It's coming from his blind side as Zach Pillars whiffs on the defensive end. It's coming right up the middle.
And Jamal Reynolds was coming hard, number 58 that time. Here's 2nd down and 10. 46 seconds left in the opening half. Keeping Roberts as a blocker behind him. This time Roberts gives him time, but he throws low to McGriff. Seemed a little rattled on the last couple of passes.
Well, that's what happens when you get great pass pressure against you. You get knocked down. You start throwing the ball too quickly. You're off target. That's the result right there. A lot of that 134 yards was that one long bomb to Travis McGriff,
which was 50 yards for a touchdown. The only touchdown in this game. We've had 3 field goals, a safety, and the 1 touchdown. 3rd down and 10. Tight end Kenny helping out on the double team. Johnson going to get it away in time. Incomplete. McCaslin, the intended receiver that time, and he was being tracked by Cleveland Thomas, the corner.
Tony Bryant with good pressure that time, number 40. He's coming from the right side of the screen. Look at that, got 2 guys trying to block him here. The tight end, he can't do the job. Kinney, and now Johnson's running for his proverbial life as he overthrows one and underthrows the other.
So Johnson has missed his last 6 passes, and it's 3 and out. So it'll be Florida's turn. And Wazalewski to Durden. and another beautiful directional kick. Pollard over there, all over it at the 13-yard line, and that's where it will be. 25 seconds for Florida State. The Seminoles with a couple of timeouts remaining, and you wonder now if Bobby won't be content to take a knee and just get out of here, trailing 12-6 with the way that front has been coming.
And go draw up some new plays for your offenses. You know, you think about Florida and Florida State. You think about touchdown passes. You think about great runs. Fred Taylor. Think about Warwick Dunn. But you have got to think about defense when you talk about these two. Number 10, Florida in the nation against number 1, Florida State on defense.
This time they're going to stand Curse up as a linebacker on the right-hand side. Use the fullback. Bring the clock on down. William McCray, who had to step in for the injured Lamar Glenn, the ball carrier. And that's going to do it here in the first half. Spurrier and the Gators lead it by 6. Now a low kick by Florida, attempting to keep it out of the speedster's hands, Lavernius Coles, but they will start from the 34-yard line. Now, your Morgan Stanley Dean Woodard first half stats. Please, folks, look at the penalties and the sacks there, Dan Fouts. Absolutely huge in this game.
Well, if Florida State were to cut these out and protect their quarterback a little bit better, they probably wouldn't be behind in this ball game. But that's exactly where they are. Third down conversions, 0 for 7, 2 for 9. You spell that defense. Both great defenses here.
Marcus Outson, only 10 yards of offense for the Seminoles in the second quarter. In the shotgun. Using Warwick in motion. Outson looking back to the right and incomplete, but no penalty. Not a catchable ball. Lavernius Coles, the intended receiver, and Alexander on him. Now, Jack, what about the two coaches at halftime?
Well, guys, both locker rooms were very upbeat. Coach Bobby Bowden said his players, he's very pleased with the defense, but he says we need better pass protection. For Steve Spurrier, however, he wants to establish a running game in the second half. He said unless we can get it on the ground, we may see our lead evaporate.
You know, Jack was praying for rain today, Brent, so he could wear that little fedora.
Second down, 10 yards here for the Noles. Curse is down at a 3-point. And Outson handing the ball off for a yard that time, but you could see 4 white jerseys. Right there in the middle is Rutledge, number 58 on that play.
And the big thing for Florida State now is they've got to keep their cool, cut out all those penalties, get the ball back to their 2 playmakers, Peter Warwick and Travis Minor. Minor has 62 yards rushing, but remember, he got 43 of that 62 in just 2 carries.
Lamar Glenn returns to start the second half. He is the fullback. Travis Minor, the running back. 4 down linemen. The 2 tackles stunt. Outson in the middle has got Lavernius Coles for a first down at the 48-yard line. An 18-yard gain on a 3rd down play.
And that was just excellent pass protection by the offensive line. Did a good job of keeping all the white shirts a long way away from number 14. He does a nice job of catching a low snap from his center. And look at how he can step into that throw and give Lavernius Cole a nice ball to catch.
Now Peter Warwick is off to the right. First down, and in the first half, the Noles favored the pass on first down. They'll keep it up here in the second half. Outson in trouble, tries to run out of it, does, and is tackled from behind by Alex Brown, the active linebacker. Alex thought he had taken the ball away, but it was whistled down.
Spurrier kind of agrees with his man Alex Brown. You know exactly what he's thinking at all times. One of the best faces in college football.
Second down and 6. This is the most impressive Florida State offensive action since the opening 15 minutes. Here's the toss to Minor behind Glenn. And Minor to the 40-yard line. This will leave 3rd down and about 3 yards coming up for Florida State.
You know, Brent, we haven't heard much from Javon Curse today. The man they call the Freak, number 42 for University of Florida. He's a Butkus Award finalist and a most impressive specimen as a defensive linebacker and a defensive end. You see him in a three-point stance that time. Good job by Ross Brannon controlling him.
Here's a third down and 3. Minor is to Outson's left. Outson from Fort Walton Beach. Here's the inside handoff to Minor. There's the first down for Florida State. To the 31-yard line, and the Noles move the chains.
Well, you get a feeling that Jimmy Hagan's the offensive line coach for the Seminoles. Might have gotten a few faces in that locker room at halftime. The offensive line for Florida State right now is taking control and dominating the Gators.
14 carries, 74 yards for Travis Minor from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He stays at tailback. Warwick is off to Outson's left. And again, they're going to throw it on first down. Almost on the deflection, Peter Warwick. 10-yard line, cuts back, touchdown, Seminoles.
You know, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. For Florida State, Peter Warwick is good and lucky as the ball goes right off the hands of Marquand Manuel. And look at that running ability of Warwick's. Nobody in the country runs with the ball any better than Peter Warwick after the catch.
Now Janikowski for the lead, and Florida State leads it for the first time today. The Noles go 66 yards in 7 plays, and watch Warwick put the move on Benny Alexander. The corner has no chance at all. He freezes on the great one's move, and that's why Warwick is the most dangerous wide receiver in the college game today. Timeout. And now the powerful left leg of Sebastian Janikowski. Will he nail it in the end zone again? Coming out this time is Gillespie. Left return, and penalty flag is down. On the return to the 15-yard line, there is a flag.
Going to be an illegal block against Florida. This will pin them deep in their own end of the field. Florida State does a nice job of moving the pocket for Marcus Outson here. He gets outside, good block there, but if Manuel makes his catch, he's gone. This is a 14-point play as Warwick turns it into a touchdown for Florida State and gives his young quarterback his first career touchdown pass.
And now the haunting war chant, the crowd alive, and McCaslin pounds away to the 16-yard line. A strong run on first down for the Gators. Coming out from one of the closed ends, Mickey Andrews with his eyes ablaze. No sacks a year ago, one already in the first half. Second down for Florida. Johnson changes it up at the line. Needs hand signals to his wideout. Short drop. Going to throw a fade. Incomplete. Taylor, the intended receiver, and Cody with the coverage. So to keep everybody up to date, the winner here still alive, but they need 2 of these 3 unbeatens to lose. Tennessee breezing. Kansas State in a dogfight. Looks like the Bruins of UCLA will beat USC, but it is still early.
You had to wonder how K-State would react after that emotional win last week over Nebraska.
And here the Gators are 0 for 7, converting the third down play. Short drop, and now they're 0 for 8. McGriff sealed up. No chance on the completion. And the Gators are forced to punt. And there's some trash talking going on. A flag is thrown.
And Doug Johnson says it's going to be against Florida State, so this will give the Gators a first down. Johnson was right in the middle of this thing. And that trash talking, Brent, was taunting. The Seminoles continue to be their own worst enemy.
And Bowden wants to know who it's on. You can read his lips. He wants to know right away who that penalty is on, and he will get in the young man's face mask.
And he'll sit that young man down. He's got plenty of players to play.
Getting an explanation. First down and 10. The Noles back out of a blitz. Johnson time, middle. Taylor dropped it at midfield. Incomplete. And another flag. "200 miles and worlds apart," Florida and Florida State. That is the 18th penalty of this football game. And it all began with a brawl at midfield before they even kicked off.
They don't even count those three guys that got kicked out of the game. We have even more penalties.
First down and 24. McCaslin steps to the middle, goes nowhere, and Lamont Green, the leading tackler, number 45, makes the stop for Andrews.
That's one rule in college football that's a real killer on those offensive holding. It's from the spot of the foul. You add 10 yards to that, and that really backs up an offense.
Second and 26. Four-man rush. Complete to McGriff. Bumped. Breaks free. To the 29-yard line. Not even back to the original line of scrimmage. 13 of the yards.
Big hit by Dexter Jackson, the senior safety, as he came across and almost took off McGriff's head. How did McGriff stay on his feet?
He's caught 4 passes today for 100 yards and 1 50-yard touchdown. Gators are down a point. Need 13 yards. And McGriff comes toward the bottom of your screen. He's the only one wide out. Cody playing bump and run. Johnson tries to make his changeup heard by everybody. On a draw, McCaslin and the Noles jump on it, and Florida is forced to punt. David Wazalewski. Reggie Durden drops back deep. Drives Durden back inside the 30. Angling everything in that direction. Freshman's an outstanding punter. Now, we mentioned the fight. We're going to pick it up after it already started. Now, watch the referee, how late they came into the middle of this along with the umpire. Then a lot of the coaches, especially from Florida State, jumped in to break it up. Now, down toward the referee, you'll see a orange helmet down there in front of him as it continues, and this was the defensive back, number 1, Tony George. And he is tossed out of the game before it starts. 2 substitutes. non-starters also ejected for Florida State. Now, Travis Minor going nowhere. Loses yardage on the play. Mitchell leads the assault along with Peterson and Warren.
And you think Bobby Stoops might have got in a few faces on the sideline after that opening drive by Florida State where they went down and got kind of a lucky touchdown. But even before the lucky play, the Florida State offensive line was manhandling the Gator defensive line. But that play right there shows you they're not ready to quit.
2nd and 13, and Stoops' defense looking for a turnover. Curse gets down as a defensive end. End around Warwick, gonna throw it. In trouble, looking down. He goes at the 15-yard line as Warren, who is playing a terrific football game for Stoops, makes the play.
Well, they were trying to get the ball deep to Lavernius Coles, but Tico Brown made the play in the secondary. Warwick looks up and he's going to see that his man downfield is covered, and now it's just like a punt return. He's in all kinds of trouble with very little blocking. Good job by Tico Brown, the weak safety for the Gators, not being fooled by the end around.
The 6th sack of the game for the Gators. Outzen on 3rd and long snaps it off into Warwick. Warwick with Mitchell chasing him well short of the first down, trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and Gurley, 99, responsible for the tackle.
Excellent defensive series for Florida. When they needed it most, they got the ball right back to their offense, and they should get real good field position.
McGriff will return, controls punt. Florida trails it by a point. Cottrell booms a beauty. McGriff on the run to the 34-yard line, looking for an alley on the left side, and down he's going to go at the 39. Couldn't get anything going over there. Only a 5-yard return. We'll take a timeout. 13-12, the Seminoles leading the Gators. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. Burger King, if you ask us, it just tastes better. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And Tostitos, proud sponsor of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl College Football's National Championship. First down and 10 for the Gators. Johnson got one-on-one. Taylor deep on. Got it. Complete inside the 30-yard line. Reggie Durden the corner that time, but Travis Taylor makes the play for 33 yards.
5'9", Reggie Durden, number 1 against 6'1", maybe 6'2", Travis Taylor. Watch as he extends for this ball, though. Jump ball, the hands are high. He's got the ball, and is he down inbounds? Yes, he is, without question.
The right foot down, you only need one. On Saturday afternoon, and he got it. First down and 10. Johnson starts him in motion. Play fake. Blocking holes. Johnson can't find an open man on the scramble. Diving. Interception. Mario Edwards, who picked 4 off a week ago, makes a grab at the 7-yard line.
Doug Johnson's thrown 2 interceptions on similar plays today. Rolling out to his right after the pressure and the pocket breaks down, throwing late, overthrowing, and a great play by Edwards with this catch. But this is an ill-advised throw by Johnson. Not a yellow helmet in the picture, rather orange one. Great job by Edwards staying with McGriff. And then look at this effort as he beats him for the ball.
And after taking a series off, slightly shaken up, big Reggie McGrew, 92, steps back into the middle of that defensive front for Florida. All hands on deck now. Outzen continues throwing on first down, incomplete. His pass run ratio on first down here today has got to be 80 or 90% throwing. Well, if they score on this, they're a long shot here, ladies and gentlemen. They got to go the hard way. Okay.
And I'm not sure that The way Florida's playing defense, you're going to get a, what is this, a 90-some-odd drive, huh?
The field position might enter into that one a little bit. Here comes second down and 10. Here's Minor, middle opens for him, and he bolts to the 17-yard line. Let's get an injury update from Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, on the Florida sidelines, you were wondering, Reggie McGrew took a series of plays off strictly because he was suffering from a wrenched neck. Now, Rod Grady, the strong safety, he's bruised his shoulder, and he has a problem as well. We'll have to see if he's used any more this half.
Yeah, we see Norwood, number 21, in that defensive backfield, Jack, as you were giving us that report. So Grady is still out, and Norwood, number 21, that's a heavy duty for him in this kind of a game. First down and 10. Outson going to take it, put it away, get in behind Glenn, and he's forced out of bounds at the 24-yard line. That is short of the first down. Robert Cromartie, the cornerback, the emergency starter today, with George having been tossed out of the game in that pregame ruckus at midfield, pushes him out.
Yeah, this was great pass protection, but Outson, he believes he's a runner, better runner than thrower. Watch the block by Lamar Glenn at the end of this play as he cleans up on the linebacker, Mike Peterson. You don't see that very often.
Second down and 3, and Travis Minor, who's been very effective inside, is off to Outson's right from the shotgun. Play fake, throw it out to Warwick. On the outside, he runs for the first down. Manuel finally tracks him down at the 40-yard line. Outson with very good ball handling that time, as the defense had to be mindful of 23, and that gave him a precious extra second to put it into Peter Warwick's hands for 16 yards.
Well, you knew Bowden would go in at halftime, draw up some new plays. That one was brilliant because it gave Warwick the ball on the perimeter with very few people to get in his way. Such a good runner after the catch.
First down and 10. Blocking assignments for the Noles are called out by the center. Here now is Minor, whole right side for a couple of yards, but it closes so quickly. So at the end of today's Donnybrook, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game for each team, and a recognition. Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's General Scholarship Fund.
Hey, Donnybrook, huh?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Had a couple of them today.
Welcome
all in one game.
State of Florida, my friend. Nothing better. To win a national championship, you should have to come through Florida, period, bar none. Have all the polls you want, but you got to beat a team from Florida. That should be the rule automatically. Second down. Here's Outson. Middle. Got it. Minor. Drop off. Midfield. Very close to the first down.
You see all this zone coverage by Florida, and you really wonder just how much of an effect the game plan had when Tony George was tossed out of the game in that pregame fight. And when you lose Rod Grady, rather, got a couple of freshmen playing on the corner, you would expect a lot more zone. And now Outson's getting the protection to pick it apart.
Third down and 1. One half of the Gators' starting defensive backfield out of the game. Minor pounds for the first down. And now there's another Gator player injured, and that is Tico Brown. He's got to get up. They cannot be without 3/4, that defensive backfield. The safety's got a back injury. Tico Brown is going over to the sideline.
He's favoring his hip a little bit on that, and his back. He was in on that tackle on Minor.
So now let's see the adjustment in that defensive backfield. Manuel and Norwood are the safeties. Cromartie and Alexander are the corners. That's 3/4 of the defensive backfield. And interesting about Marcus Outson, just sort of effectively going about his business. We asked him what he had to do to win the game today against Florida. Here's what the young man had to say.
I just got to keep the mistakes very minimal. Pretty much, I think the team that makes them the least amount of mistakes is going to leave here victorious. And I just got to go with the game plan and lead the offense, be a leader out there, and take what they give me, And like I said, the key is not to make the big mistake.
He did get some good advice from his dad who said just stay cool, and his coach said trust your line, make your reads, and throw strikes.
Second down and 10. Outside, steps away from pressure, bounces off an offensive lineman, and makes something out of nothing. There's the young man creating something when it was not there. They were all over him.
You talked about his running ability, Brent, but I'm not sure that the Gators really respected it. He's a better scrambler than you might think. He's not real sure about what he wants to do with this ball throwing it, but he knows 42's coming. Better get out of the way. Watch the block here from the left side of the screen. Lavernius Coles lays out Mike Peterson again.
And the center Moon, number 54, held his block. Now Curse is shaken up on the play. And the Gators are starting to fall all over Tallahassee. Tico Brown limped off. Now it is Javon Curse. And Stoops has got to reach deep into his bag of substitutes now. He faces a 3rd and 4. Davis checks in as the nickel. Outson runs away, and there was a whistle on the play. So there was a flag down.
It's been a while since.
Dead ball foul, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
14th penalty against Florida State for 112 yards today.
But it's been a while since there's been a penalty against Florida State.
There's your school record, one that Bowden's not proud of.
They had 14 last week against Wake Forest.
Here is 3rd down and 9. Peter Warwick will go off to Outson's right. Lavernius Coles will come down to the bottom of your screen. He's number 7. Outson with a deep drop in trouble. Mitchell chasing him, incomplete. And it was Mitchell who came free of the block and pressured the quarterback into an incompletion that time. That was a great pass rush by the defensive end that time, Anthony Mitchell, the junior.
And good news for Florida fans. Tico Brown is going to be back in the next time they are on defense. I guess just a helmet to the back is the report.
Keith Cottrell. McGriff going back to return the punt. He booms it. McGriff will let this one head for the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. A tough defensive battle for the state of Florida and to stay alive in the BCS. Timeout. Florida State leads Florida by a point, 13-12. The Big Three. Kansas State up 24-16. Tennessee looks like they're going to win. And UCLA's lead over USC is 10. Here the battle to stay alive and pursue those 3 unbeatens continues. And on 1st down, running wide to the left that time was the wide receiver, and that was Travis Taylor, who was down at the 25-yard line with Dexter Jackson making the stop as we come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Javon Curse shaken up, alone with his thoughts. Number 42 will be back. Peter Warwick with the touchdown that put the Noles ahead. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Back for the money quarter. Bobby Bowden's defense has held Florida to 194 yards. This is a team that averages almost 500 yards a game. We're coming up with 2nd and 4 for Doug Johnson and the Gators. The offensive line holds. Diving reception by the running back McCaslin at the 28-yard line, but it is short of the 1st down.
Brent, that offensive line is doing a good job. Only 1 sack today on Doug Johnson. 0 sacks last year for Florida State against the Florida quarterbacks. That offensive line now is going to be tested. You also got to wonder about what adjustments Spurrier will make. Few coaches in the country adjust during a game as well as Steve Spurrier.
3rd down and 1. Johnson in the shotgun. The fullback and McCaslin there. On the long count. Delay a game. Unbelievable. Zedalis, the center, now in a conversation with Johnson. The ball.
Game. Any offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
There's your hand signal from the sideline by Billy Young, but it is Spurrier who makes all the play calls. And because of the 9-year relationship in dueling the Seminoles, they think that maybe the code has been broken and there were going to be some dummy calls. But in that instance, Florida just blows it and takes a 5-yard penalty. Johnson, incomplete. And again, the Noles defense holds.
It was Corey Simon got his hand up, number 53, to deflect that pass, and now Florida 0 for 9 on 3rd downs. And how critical was that penalty for delay of game?
It forced them into a passing situation instead of running McCaslin perhaps for the 1st down. There's the deflection right there. And Peter Warwick goes back deep to handle the punt. Wazalewski, who has been angling punts beautifully. This one is short and not a good one, and everybody on the Florida State sidelines has let it go out of bounds and let the official mark it, and he'll mark it at about the 48-yard line. That's only a 24-yard punt. So Wazalewski did not choose a good time for a bad punt. Timeout. Watch Zedalis, the center here, Dan.
Well, Johnson called for the snap by lifting his legs. Zedalis never saw it. He's not looking at the play clock, and that's the problem there. The quarterback can see it running down, but the center never hiked the ball.
Now Outson and the Noles with half a field from the 48-yard line. Toss Minor, slashes left side. Rutledge can't get him. 35-30, and Minor loose. Going to score 6 for the Noles on a 48-yard toss around the left side.
We got a flag down on the far sideline over by the down marker, Brent. Linesman threw it. This one may be coming back.
Right in front of Spurrier and the Gators bench, and I think Steve was just saying he got him right in the back.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 1st down.
Boy, of all the penalties they've had, this one may be the most damaging. Great speed by Minor. That might have been the call right there. There's the hold with the block in the back there. Or was it outside here? Take your pick. I think that might have been on Peter Warwick. Peter Warwick got the call for the holding penalty there. Trying to hold Benny Alexander.
Florida State has had 2 touchdowns called back today because of penalties. This was the 2nd one. Peter Warwick over on the left side is engaged with the corner. And if you watch over to the right-hand side, there's the official. He throws the flag right in there in front of Spurrier, and you can rest assured that the Gators were helping him make this call. Rutledge fanned on the tackle, and there is Warwick holding the corner. There's no question he had his right arm up on the shoulder pad, and that held him there long enough so that he could dash into the end zone. But Benny Alexander, the corner on that side, was being held. Early in this game, a pass was intercepted. The Noles scored a touchdown. It was called back because of defensive holding against Florida State. Remember, we've also had a controversial safety that should have been a Florida touchdown. So fireworks in Tallahassee. What you would expect. Hingis and Davenport tomorrow, 1 Eastern time, the Chase Championships.
You know, Brent, I'm not so sure that Benny Alexander would have been able to make a play on Travis Minor. Minor got away from Rutledge, and he was rolling down that sideline. I don't think Alexander would have touched him.
80,000 plus, an old-fashioned defensive war. Two schools, a couple 100 miles apart. And here's Warwick again on the end around to throw it deep. Got him! Touchdown, Dugans, Florida State, 46 yards. Peter Warwick, a high school quarterback. He is now 2 of 3 throwing the ball this year for the Seminoles.
Jeff Chaney's in the ballgame, number 24. He gives Peter Warwick a nice handoff. What a great pass. And what a way to come back from a penalty. The holding on Warwick, he doesn't let it bother him. He goes out, executes perfectly the strike to Dugans for the score.
Janikowski, the chip shot. Junior Ron Dugans, wide open. Warwick, the one-time high school quarterback, throws a strike. The Seminoles lead it. Timeout. So Peter Warwick, a finalist for the Biletnikoff Award, throws his first touchdown pass. He has caught a touchdown pass from Marcus Outzen. And as a result, it is 2012 with 13 and a half minutes to go. And Janikowski pounds it away again. Line drive Gillespie from the 4-yard line. Gillespie, middle return, rocked at the 20 and down. Well, Dan, an ejection and injuries decimate the Florida defensive backfield, and the Noles jump on them.
And Florida State's defense has been awful good today. This is why they're number 1 in the country in so many categories.
Taylor, Kareem, and McGriff are the wideouts for Johnson. Deflected, incomplete, second down and 10. The ferocity of the defensive line starting to pick up the tempo in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you get the feeling, we talked about how we were asked to leave practice on Thursday here in Tallahassee. Bobby Bowden said, oh, we're working on a lot of trick plays, Dan. And not that we don't trust you or anything, but, you know, we just don't want anybody to see what we're going to do. We're going to show everybody on Saturday.
And show us they are. Second down and 10. Now Johnson with the crowd roaring. Hand signals on the pattern he wants. McCaslin on the run. A year ago, it was Fred Taylor. Now can McCaslin pick it up for the Gators? Short of the first down, and here comes third down. Dexter Jackson, the free safety, makes the stop for the Noles.
Brent, the guy that's got to pick it up is Doug Johnson. Only 3 of his last 13 have been completed. He appears to be affected by this great pass rush of Florida State. And, of course, these 80,000 plus with this catchy little tune.
Here's the 10th third down Johnson has faced. He is yet to convert one against the Noles defense. McCaslin won't get this one either. Florida forced to punt as Bobby Rhodes, the junior linebacker, sticks the running back, and Mickey Andrews' defense holds. There's a coach, folks. I mean, that's old-fashioned O-line in your face.
I loved his quote on Friday when we met with him, Brett, when he said, this game is not for the faint of heart.
Wasilewski with Reggie Durden, the return man. Peter Warwick has attempted to haul back a couple. The Noles have done one thing beautifully today. They have kept the ball in their best player's hands, Peter Warwick. Durden from the 35.
Welcome back to New York as we update you on the Missouri-Kansas State game. Corby Jones is not giving this one up yet. Tosses this one to John Dossman. 2-point conversion is no good. 20 yards on the touchdown pass. Just 2 points separate them. Brent.
All right, John, that one close. And here it is an 8-point difference with Florida State leading in Tallahassee. They have not lost since '91 in McGriff and Johnson. Want the ball back, trailing by 8. Want the touchdown and the 2 to tie it. First down and 10. Toss play. Minor looking daylight right side. The sweep starting to work against the Gators. First down, a 15-yard run, and Manuel pushes him out. But the softness on the corner. 21 carries for 113 yards today for number 23. Came into the game with a 4.5 average. He's doing better than that against the Gators.
3 back-to-back 100-yard games for Travis Minor. This one happens to be the toughest of the 3 against this defense.
They ran at Cromartie, the corner on that side. Forced into the game. Minor on the toss. Forced back to the middle that time. And the stop is made by Rutledge, an ABC Sports presentation of college football. Brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars. Valvoline, you can always tell the guys use Valvoline. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Microsoft Web TV service. Web TV, watch what's possible. Second down and 8. All the plays are being shuttled in by wide receivers for the Seminoles. No hand signals. Not risking the chance of a play being intercepted. Outson, complete. Dugans, 29-yard line, first down for the Noles.
And that ball wasn't very well thrown, but it was thrown with a lot of authority. That ball, he came off that play fake, planted his back foot, and ripped that ball out there to his wide receiver. When you play with confidence, it's contagious. Earlier in the game, I doubt that Dugans makes this great catch, reaching back like that. In front of Cromartie, look at this athletic move there. Very balletic with the catch.
The Gators looking for a turnover. Anything to stop Outson and the Noles. There's Minor again, pounding away. A year ago, it was Fred Taylor. Today, it is Travis Minor, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who is taking charge of the game. 124 yards rushing. And a well-deserved break.
Well, they've gotten their 3 big plays thanks to Peter Warwick and Travis Minor. A little bit short of the total yardage for offense, but they got to love this 8-point lead and their field position right now.
Cheney replaces Minor. First down inside the 20 from the red zone. Florida jumps on it. They have got it. Number 41, Keith Kelsey, saves the day. The backup tailback and Marcus Outson misconnect on a routine handoff. And the Gators are alive.
That's what rivalries are all about. When you least expect it, the tide turns. Cheney and Outson do not connect on the handoff. And Florida is there winning the battle on the bottom of the pile.
Now the crowd. The 12th man climbs in. Spurrier goes empty in the backfield. Roberts stays in to chip a rush man. Johnson got it. Incomplete. He dropped it. Did not have possession. They were working against Cody that time. And Jackson could not hold on.
Tay Cody with real tight coverage, number 27. This ball is well thrown by Johnson under a lot of pressure. Should have been caught. Ball stripped out by Cody at the last minute.
Second down and 10. Johnson back in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. And the fullback, Roberts, stays right at home behind the offensive line. He's got the linebacker down the sideline. Incomplete. Overthrew Taylor that time, and back to work they go on Tay Cody.
Mickey Andrews, defensive coordinator, says we're going to come after you with all kinds of blitzes now. We feel we've got you backed up. We know that when we blitz you, that your adjustment is to throw the fade. Twice now. Tay Cody has had the coverage on Jackson.
5 punts and a turnover in their last 6 possessions. 7 defensive backs on the field. He's only 63 yards away from Tony Dorsett's record. It's Texas A&M, then Colorado, Nebraska. College doubleheader coming your way on Friday. Here it is, 3rd down and 10. The Gators without a 3rd down conversion. 5 wideouts. 7 defensive backs. Incomplete. Florida must punt. They are still zipped for 3rd down today.
And Johnson, just 3 of his last 16 passes has he been able to complete against this Seminole defense.
And the great one, Peter Warwick, trots onto the field. Here's a young man who has caught a pass for a touchdown, thrown a pass for a touchdown, and now he'll see if he can put a little frosting on the cake. 9:17 to go. The sly one, Bobby Bowden. 3rd-string quarterback. They weren't rushing. Wazalewski still hurries it. And another bad punt. Only 27 yards. So it's up to the Gator defense again. Wazalewski's last 2 punts put a lot of pressure on Coach Stoops' defense.
And Coach Spurrier's offense has only had the ball to add to that pressure of the defense for only 17 plays here in the 2nd half. This Gator defense has been on the field a long time, starting to wear down.
Now they will attempt to pound away. Tight end on the left side of the formation, the big fullback, Travis Minor at the tail. Here comes Minor. He was slipping, and the run play was jammed that time by the defensive front, and so they go nowhere.
Got to hand it to Florida State. They've done a great job of controlling 3 great linebackers. Mike Peterson, Johnny Rutledge, and Javon Kearse have pretty much been controlled by the Seminoles this afternoon.
Numbers 42, 58, and 29 defensively. And they could use a big play from one of them right now. Here's 2nd down. Kearse, and Outson runs inside him. Left the alley open. Peterson up over the top, and it's a 1st down for the Seminoles. That is a great run. Outson was watching Kearse all the way. And as the freak came at him, he said, adios, number 42.
He seems to have been able to feel him all day long, and he gets down just in time before he feels that headhunt by Mike Peterson.
Doc Pollard, who started earlier this year, checks into the defensive backfield, and Robert Cromartie, who was forced to start because of the ejection of George. They continue to juggle the backfield. Minor comes hard over to the left side, and Rutledge, the middle linebacker, tracks him down. So Peter Warwick, the brilliant wide receiver. Watch this Outson pass. Deflected, almost intercepted into Warwick's hand. Watch him freeze the corner. And he dashes for the touchdown that put the Noles ahead. Then with a 1-point lead, watch on the end around. The high school quarterback from Fort comes up, and he's got Dugans for the touchdown. And Peter Warwick catches one and throws for another. Like we said at the top, the game plan, keep the ball in Warwick's hands as much as you can. 2nd and 10. And when he doesn't have it, give it to 23. And again, he is jammed in the middle that time by Warwick.
Peter Warwick has touched the ball 11 times today for 161 yards. And as you mentioned, Brent, the great touchdown reception, only to be outdone by his great touchdown pass.
And for Minor, Dan, 122 yards rushing. Here's 3rd and 11. That stout Gator defense forced to the wall one more time, trying to get the ball back. But they're almost in Janikowski field goal range. And an 8 is a big number. 11 is huge right now if they can get a field goal out of this. Outson, quarterback draw. Right up the middle, inside the 25-yard line. First down on a 16-yard run for Marcus Outson. All the pressure in the world on his shoulders, and he comes through again.
And Brent, Bobby Stoops says they weren't all that concerned with his running ability. Remember, Florida has played Quincy Carter of Georgia and T. Martin of Tennessee. But what I don't think they realize is that Marcus Outson has a huge heart, and he's really going after this one today.
Buck Gurley, remember that defensive line tried to warn the Gators. He said, I played against Outson in high school. He's a big-time runner. The fullback, for all the blocking that he does, they got to feed Big Lamar Glenn every now and then, and that was the time for about a yard. And a reminder what's coming up, prime time, ESPN. This one may be better than you think, folks. New Orleans' defensive line is extremely impressive, and the 49ers cannot keep their offensive line intact. Then on Monday night, Dan Marino and the Dolphins with something to prove. They go up to New England. The Patriots tore them up last year. This could be revenge Monday night for the road team. Second down and 9 coming up. You can see how poorly the Gators have rushed against that Florida State defense. Nothing going, and now it is the Noles on the move. Second down and 9, toss Minor. And that time he is caught by Mike Peterson. Let's check in with Jack Aru. Jack.
Well, Brent, a year ago in this game when it was played in Gainesville, the Florida State Seminoles offensive line was manhandled on 3 consecutive plays when they were trying to score a late touchdown to take the lead. The offensive line says we never forgot that. In fact, during the offseason, they went into conditioning and strength drills, and collectively they've averaged a gain of 20 pounds across that offensive line. They said stronger is better when you play the Florida Gators.
Exactly. They got to be strong now, Jack. Third down and 9. Gators will be looking to tee off. Outson to run it again. They were very conservative, and the reason why they want to turn it over to Sebastian Janikowski. Bowden is very content to go for an 11-point lead with this powerful left leg. The number is very critical right now. It'll make the Gators score twice.
The other thing critical, look at that sucker. That's still rolling as it leaves our picture. The clock is moving.
And here he comes, the young man from Poland. Made a 36 and a 42-yarder earlier. This is for 41. He's the favorite. Got it. 3 of 3.
And Janikowski knows all about this rivalry as he gives the Gator sign to all the Gator fans here.
The Noles are very big in Warsaw. Hey, it's a Rose Bowl day for Barry Alvarez and the Badgers. Let's go to John Saunders.
Brennan, the Burger King play of the day. Wisconsin is headed to the Rose Bowl, knocking off Penn State, who didn't have much offense on this day. Nick Davis here, 81 yards on the punt return for the touchdown. This was the first score of the day, and the victory holds up for Wisconsin until they are back in the Rose Bowl. 24-3 is the final there. Meanwhile, Kansas State in a battle with Missouri. They've just gotten on the board again, 30-22. Murphy with a touchdown. Back to you, Brent.
And John, where that puts Ohio State, of course, is they now become eligible for the BCS. They could wind up in, say, the Nokia Sugar Bowl, I should say, and the FedEx Orange Bowl, either New Orleans or Miami. So they certainly become a contender along with Notre Dame. But the loss to Michigan State, devastating. Otherwise, the Buckeyes would be playing for all the Tostitos. Look at this kickoff. It's downtown Tallahassee. Oh, what a weapon. And the MetLife Blimps are in their 11th year, providing aerial coverage of sporting events and television specials. Combined, the Blimps, Snoopy 1 and Snoopy 2 have traveled over 700,000 miles since the program began. I want to congratulate our producer, Bob Goodrich, our director, Drew Esikoff, They have done a championship job this season, and they continue right here. 7 defensive backs on the field for the Noles right now. Johnson and the Gators must hurry. Quick tosses to Taylor, and Taylor is sealed up by Chris Hope. Conventional wisdom was that Florida State could not hold up against this firepower, that the Gators would put too many points on the board here today. So much for conventional wisdom. 4 of his last 17 with a pick, and he hasn't converted a 3rd down here today. 2nd down. Campbell, the speedster, and he is bottled up on the quick hit. They're not even bothering to try and take it downfield, and Hope is there again.
And it's a little surprising because the Seminoles only have 3 down linemen to rush against Johnson. They're going to drop 8 and make him try to pick them apart. Not going to get it done throwing those little 2-yard passes, though, with only 3 minutes to go.
And the clock runs down big time on the Gators right now. Remember, they're 0 for 11 on 3rd down. Johnson, lots of time. A one-hopper, they're 0 for 12. There's the dirty dozen on 3rd down for the Gators.
And it was the ugliest of the dozen, too, Brent. Doug Johnson just fell down as he was throwing that ball. Nobody was near him in the pocket. He was bouncing in his, trying to get some rhythm back here, but watch this throw. You wonder why it came in on 1 hop? Well, he hopped right down on the ground. Nobody near him.
They've got to go for 3 minutes. It's 4th down. Johnson fires, picked off. Intercepted by Darden to the 26-yard line. 1st down for the Noles.
Three interceptions on the day for the Seminoles. 18 now on the year, throwing into 8 men in that secondary. There's just nobody to throw to except the Seminoles. And who would have thought that Marcus Outson, just making his 2nd start of his career, would outplay a quarterback like Doug Johnson? Just a 3-man rush. A lot of time to throw, but not a friendly shirt to throw it to.
The clock running down, so a timeout has been called by Bobby Bowden's Seminoles. And how proud he must be of Marcus Outson. Outson has come over to the near sideline. Time permitting, we'll have the Thrifty post-game report. John Saunders and Todd Blackledge will fill you in on all the big games that have gone on around the country. What this does from here is it eliminates Steve Spurrier and Florida from championship contention. Now Kansas State is ahead. Tennessee is going to win, and it looks like UCLA is. So they still, and I'm talking now about Florida State specifically, they need 2 of those 3 teams to lose. Folks, I love the BCS, but if all 3 stay unbeaten, forget about it. There's no way you can eliminate any of those 3 teams. They should all have a chance to play for the championship. They better hope that one of them loses along the way. 1st down and 10. Fake toss, Outson keeps the clock moving.
Brent, you did a good job of selling that whole thing about the BCS. But I think I'm most proud of you today because you never once referred to Marcus Outson as the Rooster.
Well, you know what? I was saving it for the end of the game. It's a nickname he doesn't like, but he's got something to crow about now, ladies and gentlemen. All day, I've been saving it, and you ruined the line.
That's because I just wanted to be able to say on top of that he is the cock of the walk here in Tallahassee.
Oh, yeah, baby, let it come. 2nd down and 14. Here's the toss. And Travis Minor has been no small part of this huge performance by the Seminoles here today. The big players stepped it up. 126 yards and 28 carries. The old master. I'm short-handed at quarterback. I'm down to my third guy. Dan Kendra blows a knee out early. Chris Winkie out with neck surgery. I'm in there with an unknown, Marcus Outson, but I got two guys who can play with anybody. Peter Warwick and Travis Minor. And fellas, you're going to handle it all game long. And Warwick and Minor have done the job. Third down and 10 now. A minute and a half, and the celebration will rain all over Tallahassee.
Yeah, the other thing that Bobby Bowden did this week is he kept you out of a football practice for the first time in how many years, buddy?
I said 25 years. I've never been tossed out of a practice, coach, but I forgive you, a good buddy of mine.
We may never get to another Florida State practice after today.
Well, I want to thank the Gators, though. They were extremely hospitable, as they usually are. That's a great performance by that SID, John Humanick over there. There's our MVPs, Travis McGriff. He caught a 50-yarder for a touchdown, and of course the great Peter Warwick catches the touchdown pass, runs for another one. Here's your fourth down inside of a minute. The streak is intact. Steve Spurrier has yet to win a football game in Tallahassee. He settled for a tie once, but that was it.
And I think it's very fitting that this great Seminole defense comes out for the last couple of plays. What a way to finish off this latest edition of this great rivalry.
Let the war chant echo, baby.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting the hang of it, too.
You're into this Florida thing. You come on down here, you'll enjoy it in this state, my friend. How about Miami getting better?
Absolutely.
You tell those Bruins, the Canes are going to be ready on December 5th, my friend. They'll be there. Campbell coming around on that end around, and Florida State was ready. There's a penalty flag, and I think you can see the back of the jacket that Bobby just got the victor's dousing. That is Larry Rehart, who is now in the game as the Florida quarterback. So the day has ended, and unhappily so.
5-yard penalty on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. Still first down.
So let us watch Steve Spurrier's back up now. Larry Rehart. Disappointing day for that man, but he'll be back. Could wind up in the Citrus Bowl against Ohio State, come to think about it. That's a possibility, isn't it? And there it is, the fewest points since 1992. This one of the great defensive performances in college football this year. End around, back to McGriff. Smacked at the 21-yard line. Now I'll tell you what. I know all you experts out there, you got all the 1, 2, or 3, but I'll tell you what. After you settle everything, come play Florida State in Tallahassee. Come on down.
And if you don't like that, go up to Gainesville and play Florida. There's no picnic either.
There it is. A great performance by the Seminoles. And Coach Spurrier dashes out. And now the Noles go to the center of the field and they celebrate on their logo. This day began with the Noles and the Gators exchanging punches at midfield. It ends with the Seminole victory dance at midfield. 23-12. Florida State. And let's go down to Jackaroo, Jack.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Did you expect it to come out like this? As exciting as it was?
After that first half, I didn't know if we were going to do anything. They were just beating the heck out of us up front offensively. And we finally got a little something done in the second half.
What about the work of your defense? They said they knew the offense might have a little bit of trouble, and instead of it being nothing more than an opportunity for the defense to step up.
Well, I told them at the halftime, I said, you remember the second half of the Virginia game? When Winkie went down, we really became a team. We played so good that second half. I said, try to go out there and play this half like that, and we came close.
Now, offensively, the play of Warwick, outstanding.
Oh, he's something now. He's something.
Now, how do you rate this quarterback? Outson stood up to the test.
Boy, I was so proud of him. Boy, he did what it took to win. And a lot of that's running the football.
Go celebrate.
Yeah, here, buddy.
A great performance by this coaching staff. No question about it. Down to the third-string quarterback, a young man who was starting in only a second game. And let's check in now with Jack Arute in the quarterback, Jack.
Well, Marcus, congratulations. A great showing.
It's a great win. It's a great win for Tallahassee. It's a great win for this football team.
Now, what about this nickname, Rooster? You said you didn't want ESPN to know about it or anybody. Now they're going to be the Rooster for all time.
Hey, I can deal with it. It's all right. Everybody knows he's Rooster. As long as I keep winning, call whatever you want.
All right. Keep going.
So Marcus Outson, he authors another classic in the greatest rivalry of the 90s. Florida State wins in Tallahassee 23-12. So long, everybody.